No, the self-destruction of the United States of America is by far the most deserved downfall in human history. And no person with any sort of a conscience, no person with any sort of a conscience whatsoever would lift a finger to prevent it. And I'm telling you, it is an insult to every single person of every single nation that your country ever terrorized, to every individual of every nation that your country ever robbed or exploited or massacred. It's an insult to everyone that they are oppressing right now and throughout their monstrous history. It's an insult to every enslaved ancestor of every African, to every ancestor of every Native American. It's an insult to the ancestor of every Filipino, every Hawaiian, every Puerto Rican, every Mexican. It's an insult to the people of Iraq, to the people of Afghanistan, to the Palestinians, and the list is endless. It's an insult to literally the hundreds of millions of Uncle Sam's victims for you to want to avert his punishment in any way whatsoever, because you have the gall to come here and tell us that he still has a good heart and there's a chance that he can change.
America has wronged many communities around the world. It has wronged Africans, it has wronged Black Americans, it has wronged Latinos, it has oppressed many communities around the world. But are we gonna see the punishment coming for this kingdom that has been oppressing many people for many years? Is the Almighty really going to make America face the consequences of what He has done to His people? We are seeing many signs, we are hearing many prophecies that is signaling that probably something bad might be coming for America, the country that has been dominating the world for many years. Let's watch these clips. I will come back at the end and give you a deep analysis. Stay tuned.
America isn't special enough for God to judge us, right? I want to be very clear when I say this. What we're seeing occur in this country is the result of what has been allowed to happen in this country for centuries. Racism is a tenet foundation of America. Greed is a tenet foundation of America. This idea that, oh, we were never evil, we were never wrong, we were never this, that, and the third. You can't say that you were founded on biblical principles when you had to amend the Bible in order to get away with it. We could also say that America was founded on terrible principles because of the amendments. It was made for white men and white men with money. And every year since then, those same elites or those same people in that same economic class have been doing everything they can to solidify their position while also solidifying you as the working class. Think of the caste system that you learned about in social studies in 5th grade. You got the lords and you have the serfs, and that's what they're trying to reinforce again. So ultimately, what we're seeing occur in the world with COVID, with hantavirus, with all of that, none of that is a quote unquote judgment from God. That is the consequences of our greed, consequences of our actions. What did you think was going to happen to the sicknesses that we have when you're not looking to cure a disease? You're not looking to cure anything. You're only looking to prolong the life of the person suffering with. What did you think was going to happen when you allow foreign powers to be able to pay your politicians to create laws and government? What did you think was going to happen when having money makes you untouchable by the law that has been written? This isn't God's judgment. This is the consequences of the actions of the people who founded and have been running this country since its inception. What God did in Egypt was Him reaching out His hand and actively making something happen, right? What we're seeing now is the further perversion of what has already been corrupted by us. Sickness and disease, cancers, all those things come because we're letting people dump stuff in our water, dump stuff on our land, dump stuff in the air, and that is getting in our bodies, causing all these different ailments. And then if you think radiation is only affecting us and not affecting these viruses to mutate, you're out of your mind. We've effectively pushed God aside everywhere and used Him as a banner only when it serves us. And we honor Him with our lips while our hearts are far from Him. So if we want things to be different in this country, if you really want God to actually make a change and actually use His hand to do something, the Bible has clear instructions for that. 2 Chronicles 7:14, if my people who are called by my name humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, forgive their sins and heal their land. God is waiting on us to humble ourselves and pray and turn from our wickedness. God is waiting for us to rectify the stupidity that we have put in place and purge all of the evil that we've allowed to go on for so long. And no, I don't mean purge as in let's go in and start killing everybody. It's a posture of the heart that needs to change within government, within local, within media, within every aspect of American culture. It needs to change. And in order for that to happen, people need to humble themselves and actually turn to the Creator. As far as what believers who are already saved need to do, we need to start being more active and participating in the American system to remove people who are using God as some kind of cover to go in and do evil things. More of us who are actually saved need to be participant in government. More of us who are actually saved need to be participant in local and federal government, as well as other positions of power. We need to take a hold of what God has already given us in salvation, in our understanding, and apply that for the betterment of the people who walk in this earth. But America is not special enough for us to be getting judged. The rest of the world is going through the same thing. It's just that we can't see it.
I hate to be the guy to break the news to you, but there's no coming back from this. There's no coming back from this. We are at the point of no return. When the President of the United States sues his own government and has his own personal lawyer as the Attorney General, who then awards him $1.8 billion to pay for insurrectionist traitors on January 6th, to pay for their legal fees, there's no coming back. We are absolutely cooked. Stick a fork in us. We are done. Because 30 some odd % of this country, maybe more, still love this man, would die for this man. And he just took $1.8 billion. There is no law, there is no statute, there is no standard, there is no procedure, there is no protocol, there is no court, there is no filing, there is no anything that is going to stop this. This is so blatant, so blatant. It is in your face every single day. This may be one of the worst, most blatant things he has possibly done in front of the American people as President of the United States. We're done. We're cooked.
Guys, we're the problem throughout history. It's us. We've just been brainwashed to think we're the good guys, but we're not. Who invades all the other countries? Who steals other people's lands? And no, I don't have self-loathing or collective guilt. It's just a realization that we've been brainwashed and the world's slowly waking up.
Nothing is going back to normal. I need us as Americans to fully grasp that nothing is going to go back to normal or be the same after this. Some things are irreversible. A lot of Americans have this mindset that once Trump is over, things are going to reverse, and that isn't true. If Trump gets us into a global recession, if not a global depression, you're not going to fix that in a matter of 4 years. It's going to take possibly a decade. Do people forget that the Great Depression lasted for 12 years, from the stock market crash of 1929 until the start of World War II? That's 12 years. Are people aware that when the oil embargo of the 70s happened, it wasn't until the 80s that things got back on track? So if we're going to have an economic downturn, a severe economic downturn, especially with the petrodollar declining, it is going to take years, if not over a decade, for things to get fixed or corrected, if ever.
America is going to collapse, and it might not be today, but we definitely don't have 50 more years. It doesn't matter if Trump leaves office today. It doesn't matter what politician gets into office, because you can't put a Band-Aid on what was built broken. Putting a different politician in office is only delaying the inevitable. There are foundational flaws built inside the system. And no one wants to admit it, but most of it has to do with institutional racism and slavery. We built our entire economy off of free and cheap labor. How long did they think that was going to last? I mean, realistically, we have another 10 years max. If it wasn't for the pandemic, this could have went on maybe another 50 years. But because the pandemic put a strain on such an already flawed economy, it has put us back at least 20 years. It has taken 20 plus years off the American life system. It no longer can live. I mean, literally, there's nothing that can be saved. Nothing. Agriculture is going to die. I mean, look at what's happening with Nevada. The reason that Nevada's economy is going bankrupt is because it literally operated off of cheap Hispanic labor. Without cheap labor, they literally cannot have an economy. They cannot afford to pay white people to work because they know white people are going to demand a livable wage. Y'all can say whatever, but the entire system runs on defrauding people. I mean, just think about the prison industrial system. Another form of cheap slave labor. It's the reason why black people get arrested and convicted at higher rates than white people, because they need a class of people to abuse in order to keep the economy going. Our economy is systematically flawed. We are screwed no matter how many band-aids we put on it. There is no way that the economy won't eventually fail. So who cares if Trump is moving it forward? Because the slow burn is going to be a lot rougher than the immediate drop.
There's a reason that America feels cursed. From its beginning to its present, this so-called Christian nation has been drenched in blood, greed, and spiritual filth. What we're seeing today, the chaos, division, addiction, violence, it isn't random. It's divine consequence. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, corruption has appeared on land and sea because of what the hands of men have earned, so that he may let them taste part of what they have done, that perhaps they will return. Quran chapter 30 verse 41. America wasn't founded on freedom. It was founded on genocide and hypocrisy. Millions of Native Americans exterminated, their land stolen, their children kidnapped into Christian schools, where they were beaten, raped, and stripped of identity. The same people quoting the Bible used it to justify mass murder. Before the US even called itself a nation, it was burning women alive during the Salem witch trials, projecting its own evil onto others. They screamed about witches while committing acts far darker than any spell. They seek to extinguish the light of Allah with their mouths, but Allah will perfect his light. Quran, chapter 61, verse 8. What they call purity was actually paranoia, fear, and hatred, the very foundation of their empire. Then came Mormonism, born into the same soil, mixing Christianity with paganism, polygamy, and blood atonement. These were not fringe movements. They shaped US politics and culture, from Manifest Destiny to God Bless America. The nation began to believe it was chosen by God to dominate others. That's not faith, that's arrogance. The Prophet Muhammad warned, arrogance is rejecting the truth and looking down on people. Sahih Muslim 91. And what's more arrogant than a nation claiming God gave it the right to rule the earth, just like Israel is doing right now, and its people, the chosen ones, the very same people running America. Just look at the culture. The United States produces more serial killers than any other country in history. Over 3,000 known cases. Hollywood glorifies cannibals, serial killers, and demonic acts. It celebrates sin as freedom. Even Netflix has turned human depravity into entertainment. This isn't coincidence. This is a mirror, a reflection of the nation's inner sickness. Then the hearts of those who disbelieve became hardened after that, like stones or even harder. Quran, chapter 2, verse 74. The same obsession with horror, violence, and death runs through its politics, its movies, and its streets. When a nation normalizes evil, Allah removes mercy from its heart. The American empire didn't stop at home. It expanded, invading, occupying, and toppling over 80 countries, from Vietnam to Iraq, from Iran to Libya. Millions of lives lost in the name of freedom. Their military doesn't defend, it dominates. They maintain over 750 military bases all across the world, controlling oil, currency, and governments through blood, and do not commit abuse on the earth, spreading corruption. Quran, chapter 2, verse 60. And yet they call Muslims terrorists. The biggest terror organization on earth wears a suit and waves a flag. Islam forbids everything America profits from: interest, pornography, gambling, intoxication, exploitation, and oppression. So they attack it. They bomb Muslim lands, invade other nations, steal resources, and brainwash their citizens to fear Islam. They demonize hijabs, but glorify nudity. They ridicule prayer, but worship money. They want to deceive Allah and those who believe, but they deceive none except themselves, yet they perceive it not. Quran, chapter 2, verse 9. America doesn't hate Islam because it's violent. It hates Islam because it's pure, because it exposes the filth that they live in. Behind the American flag lies another flag, the Zionist one. For decades, Zionist lobby groups like AIPAC have dictated US foreign policy. Presidents come and go, but the alliance to Israel never changes. Billions of dollars are sent yearly while American cities decay, poverty rises, and children die from fentanyl. You see, many of them taking the disbelievers as allies. Evil indeed is that which they have sent ahead for themselves. Quran, chapter 5, verse 80. The same elite networks, banks, media, Hollywood, and tech promote degeneracy, destroying faith, and manipulate minds. Their goal, to make humanity forget God so they can play God. Have you noticed America's obsession with monsters, vampires, demons, and the apocalypse? It's not entertainment, it's confession. Its myths mirror its crimes, from witch hunts to cannibals to mass shooters. America creates monsters because it is one. It projects its own darkness onto screens so people never see it in the mirror. And thus we made the oppressors allies of one another because of what they used to earn. Quran, chapter 6, verse 129. Just look at America now, divided, decaying, drowning in drugs, shootings, suicides, and debt. Its people no longer know right from wrong. They mutilate children, glorify sin, and call it progress. Its youth reject God, its leaders worship wealth, and its military serves Zionist greed. When we intend to destroy a town, we command its affluent ones, but they definitely disobey therein, so the world comes into effect upon it, and we destroy it with complete destruction. Quran, chapter 17, verse 16. That is what's happening right now. America is being destroyed, not by enemies abroad, but by the rot from within. The United States calls others terrorists, but it has terrorized the planet. It preaches morality while funding genocide. It claims to defend freedom while silencing truth. It builds idols of liberty while worshipping satanic systems. And every empire built on blood ends the same way. Rome, Babylon, Pharaoh, and now Washington. Do not think Allah is unaware of what the wrongdoers do. He only delays them for a day when eyes will stare in horror. Quran, chapter 14, verse 42. America's downfall is not political, it's spiritual. The curse it unleashed upon others has come home. You cannot mock God, slaughter nations, and poison the earth without consequence. The land cries out, the blood speaks, and justice is coming, whether through history or through divine wrath. And perhaps then the world will see that Islam was never the enemy. It was the truth they feared all along. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings be upon you and your families.
A lot of what is being said in those clips is true. America is built on black Americans' blood. It's built on their sweat. It's built on their labor. They took everything from them. They took land from Native Americans. Took our people from Africa in chains. Make them work for free for hundreds of years. And then you wonder why America is still struggling? That is just fact. That is real. And yeah, you can see it everywhere. America talks about democracy and freedom. Why they got military bases all over the world. They invade countries. They take their resources and then go back home talking about them being good guys. The lies are so thick that you cannot even see them anymore. It is crazy. It is infuriating. And the speakers in those clips are right to call it out. But here's what I want to tell y'all Americans. You can't just sit around waiting for America to fall apart. That is not enough for you. Because while you are waiting, you people are still suffering right now. Today, some of your kids are still in bad schools. Your communities don't have enough resources. Many Americans are still struggling to pay rent and be able to feed themselves. Your ancestors did not wait for the system to break down. They started building their own communities. They created their own schools. Y'all remember that, right? They built many black-owned businesses. They passed down culture and strength that nothing could destroy. You got that same power in you right now. All you need to do is to use it. One of the speakers in those clips talks about how America is finished and there is no coming back. Maybe that is true about the whole system. But what matters more is what y'all do while you are still there. Are you just gonna complain? Are you gonna teach your kids real history? Yes, it was built to hurt some of y'all. But you should remember that black Americans have had their means of finding ways to survive even when the conditions were not good. They were able to thrive in worst conditions. You don't wait for permission. You don't wait for government to fix things. You fix things yourselves. Some people says you should start fixing the system from inside. Others says that the whole thing needs to come down and you build something new. Both of those ideas have some truth. But the main thing is that you gotta keep moving, keep building, keep organizing for yourselves and for your community. The creator was right, the one who said that things are changing and they're not coming back to normal. But there is actually opportunities for your black Americans. When things are breaking down, that is when you can really build something better, when you are focused, united, and organized. So you don't just have to sit there feeling hopeless. Yes, you can feel angry, but use that anger to do something better. Support black-owned businesses. Teach your kids about who you really are. Build community with your neighbors. Organize. That is how you win. Not by waiting for America to destroy itself, but by building your own people right now. You survived the worst. You're still strong. And you've got everything you need to create something beautiful for your people, for your community, for your lineage. That is what y'all have to focus on. And you should remember that Jehovah, the Almighty, is always standing on your side. And He is trying to fulfill the promises that He has given you. You all stand strong. You all stay united. You all should strive for the few people. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. That was it for today. Mr. TA, your African brother signing off. Ciao.